welcome to episode 8 of the Outta Bounds podcast. As you can see, our big three is back in full effect this week. But first off, I just must say, if you're new to this channel, first of all, welcome to the Tuck Podcast Network. Welcome to the Outta Bounds podcast. My name is Adele the Fashionista, manager editor here at True Culture Magazine. Make a 1/3 of this big three that you see here today on this week's edition of the Outta Bounds podcast. And joined by me this week is...
Oh man, Noel Austin, aka Kyrie, aka Third Eye is always open, aka we don't date white women, aka
we're going to talk about that, but
no, I'm kidding.
You know what? I think that's like talk or some shit like that.
I date every race, but no. AKA Kyrie, aka opinion-based person, staff writer at True Urban Culture, and I'm consistent. This is the 4th episode that I'm consistently here, so we have a running tally because I like to leave. So I've been here for 4 consecutive episodes. So yeah, right here.
Yeah, you really be doing some Kyrie shit. So that's why the whole Kyrie nickname, that's totally appropriate for you.
Amen.
And then our man in the middle, Mr.
You already know me, Philly born and raised.
You're really gonna do that right now?
Yeah, we definitely gonna get into your Hawks. But
I'll give him that. I'll give him that. But before we get into this little banter between these Philly and this Atlanta nigga right here, I just want to encourage you all, please like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. It really helps us out the YouTube algorithm. With that said, let's get straight into it.
Fight, nigga.
Fight. All right, so Donovan, are you still feeling confident about the Sixers?
100%. You don't even have to finish that question. 100%.
What's in the water in Philly, bro? Y'all delusional.
What's in the water? The Hawks. You guys are just getting into the playoffs, and you act like you just.
Hold on, we not finna do this.
Like you're in a three-peat or something.
Man, last time I checked, it was cold in Philly. Last time I checked, it was cold in New York. Number 11.
No, I checked the weather. It was 91 degrees.
It's 92 degrees in New York.
It was cold in New York. They got
you
ice.
Hear them? Like
they got ice.
Nigga, we had it to summer. What are you talking about?
Nah, ice for the game, man. That boy Ice Trae came through, said it. It's kind of cold in here.
That's where he's going.
It's kind of cold, yeah. Old man, you gotta get with the times.
You know who the Hawks this season reminds me of? They remind me of the Miami Heat, who went to the finals last year, who wasn't supposed to be there. They're like one of those teams that just snuck in. Like, come on.
Wow, we snuck in a whole series.
That's kind of disrespectful.
I don't want to hear it. You're telling me you snuck into a whole series?
Disrespect. With all disrespect.
All right,
come on, that. They won one game by 4 points, and suddenly Trae Young is the second coming of Steph Curry.
Aren't y'all 1 seed? Aren't y'all the 1 seed?
Yeah, 100%.
So the 1 seed is getting beat by the 5th seed.
No, we lost one game. Even Michael Jordan lost some games.
Last time I checked, Michael Jordan didn't go past game 6.
So that is true, but
no, that's not true. Jordan used to get his ass whipped in the 80s by the Pistons and the Celtics. What you mean?
Oh shit!
There you go. That's why we got the old man here.
This is why we have him here, bro.
That's why we have him.
You already know. There's gonna be the old heads in the comments. Like I know, I'm 21. Chill on me. I was not alive when Mike was playing. Chill. That's why Liddell is here, so he can fact check us what we know, what we don't know.
Right, because I was sure about to roll over.
We're both like, yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Nah. All right, continue. Keep this fight going.
Nah, but real talk, banter aside, the Hawks they have a really good team. It's exciting in the city. What they're doing, I love it. Trae Young is stepping into his own. I feel like he is his most comfortable I've ever seen him play basketball professionally right now. So Yo, Philly, and we won on the road. We didn't even win in Atlanta yet. We won in Philly. We weren't even supposed to win in Philly. That was the thing. Everyone in Atlanta was like, we're not supposed to. We were kind of just like, it's a toss-up, but we're playing in Philly. Same thing with New York. We played in the Garden, twice? First time we played in the Garden, it was just like, oh, we're playing in the Garden. So we're just like, oh, but does it? So we went on the road, and then you come back to Atlanta where they're playing Migos and Quavo and them sitting courtside. Like, you play in Atlanta, it's a whole different ballgame. It's a whole different atmosphere. So, I will say
whole different atmosphere. Get the fuck.
Hey, you're mad the Knicks lost in the Garden. I don't want to hear it.
I'm not a Knicks fan. I'm mad about the play, but it's not about the Knicks.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, says a hurt New Yorker. But no, the Hawks are doing their thing.
We here though.
Hawks in 6. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I will give you that credit. Trae Young has stepped into the franchise leader that people expected him to be when he first came out. It was there, but it wasn't as permanent as it is now. And he did lead this team with a good, well-rounded supporting cast. So I will give you that props to you and Atlanta.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. The sporting cat isn't it? Like, John Collins is doing his thing. DeAndre Hunter makes me upset. DeAndre Hunter makes me upset all the time. I feel the same way about him as Liddell feels about Chris Paul. I dislike DeAndre Hunter. But I think the rest of the team is like, they're a good team, but I feel like Trae Young is like the only like scorer besides Clint Capella. But it's like, as a guard, like, he's the only one really when it comes down to it who's going to get a bucket or a bucket getter that you can rely on. I think Atlanta, for them to solidify themselves as a contender year in and year out, they need to give Trae Young another bucket getter. So you don't put all your eggs in Trae Young. And when Trae Young isn't performing, now is, what happened to Atlanta? Because Trae Young, he needs some sort of –
I think that's where Bogdan I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Bogdanovich. Sorry for messing up your name, but I think that's where he comes in, that offseason acquisition, right?
But he's more of a catch and shoot spot shooter. I think I get what Noel's saying. As far as like a bucket getter, I think DeMar DeRozan would be a perfect second option for the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah.
Okay,
that would be sick actually. Because DeMar DeRozan still can, like,
he can still
hoop. Even if it like a DeMar DeRozan or like a prominent 2 guard. Like, if Bradley Beal went to the Hawks, I would be okay with that. Like Trae Young, Bradley.
That's not happening because Bradley Beal is kind of like he's a small guard, so you gotta have 2 small guards in your backcourt. I don't know about that.
I mean, it kind of worked for the Wizards, but then again,
how does it work for the Wizards? They got beat in 5 games by Philly.
I was about to say then again, like, Westbrook is a whole different beast. But
they don't make the play.
Let me get back to the tale of the Sixers. Congratulations on that win. I think everybody and their grandma knows that what we saw out of Doc Rivers in the first half was giving me PTS flashbacks of Brent Brown a couple of years ago.
I hate to say, I love Doc, but he's a shitty disrespect my coach. Ty Lue proved that yesterday. Ty Lue in the roundabout way proved that Doc Rivers is a shitty coach because the adjustments that he made and that's still
anyway.
Dang, they say Doc Rivers ass, bro. That's crazy.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, low-key he is kind. I ain't gonna lie to you. The fact that he had Blake Griffin in his prime, Chris Paul, he had DeAndre Jordan.
Not a winner, so
he had a lot of heat
He had stars.
And the fact that you had all those elite players and y'all didn't at least contend.
Okay, I get that, but I know I just shit on Doc, but now I'm about to defend him all within the span of like 30 seconds. But it is what it is. This is the Out of Bounds podcast. That's what we do. But he had Chris Paul, he had Blake, he had JJ, he had Eric Bledsoe, he had DeAndre Jordan, he had all these dudes. But at the same time, that team still weren't better than the Spurs when they had Manu, Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, and young Kawhi, and they weren't better than the Warriors. So who were they beating?
I think it was the fact that he just
because they had KD and
down. I mean, he was up 3-1 in 2 series, and just get straight dog handled. It happens. Yeah, I think that's what it was. But he had me scared against the Wizards when we were up 3-1. So I totally understand where people were coming from. But once again, getting back to my Sixers, it was a close game. In the first half, obviously, it wasn't. Having Danny Green sticking Trae Young, a versatile offensive threat, was probably one of the dumbest decisions Doc Rivers ever made as a coach. But he rectified that in the second half when he put elite defender Matisse Thybulle on him and started to run the trap, which effectively worked in the last 5 minutes of the game. You saw it. I think everybody saw it, how we cornered and held our defensive pressure, the number 2 ranked defensive team in the NBA. So I think what the Atlanta Hawks did that game is something that they're not going to be able to do for the next 4 games. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to see the Sixers shooting.
I mean, my thing is, okay, you say that now, but the Hawks literally made people forget how improved Julius Randle was in the season. Like, at the end of that series, everyone was like, that nigga was most improved? Like, where were you at? Like, no, real talk.
Donovan, hold on, talk about Donovan, you laughing, but they might be saying the same shit about Embiid by the end of this.
That's what I'm saying.
About Embiid? No.
Because my thing is, like, you look at the ESPN.
I think of MVP candidate.
There was only 2 ESPN sportscasters that gave they said like Hawks in 7 at least to game 7. Everyone else not watching because Julius Randle, who still did have a really good season, he was really improved than what he used to be a couple of years ago. But the fact that the Hawks came in and took a series, 1, people didn't think they were going to win, and 2, made people forget how improved this dude improved himself in the season is crazy. So, yeah, that looks like consistency to me. I mean, if you could take a team that everyone was like, yo, it's the Knicks season, they lit, they actually back in the playoffs to, man, I don't know about Julius Randle no more. Cuz ain't doing what he used to do in the season. What do you think they're going to do to Philly? Man, Joel Embiid going crazy. Clint Capella come through, get a double-double every game, and they wash him. Well, I don't want to say wash him. I'm not gonna say wash.
Okay, all right. Let's dial it back now.
If the Hawks beat the Sixers in this series, it's gonna be the same effect of like, well, we really thought Embiid was gonna be the MVP. Where was that MVP caliber player against a team against the 5th seed?
39 points is an MVP caliber in his first game. Come on now.
Like, he did play well game 1. He did play well game. But the thing about Embiid though is like, you're playing Russian roulette with this dude because you never know. Like any game, the dude could go down with an injury. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think that's a dumb argument because that can happen.
How is that a dumb argument?
Any NBA player. That's just the nature.
Well, yeah, of course.
But Embiid more than most. Because he's injury prone.
Yeah, I'll give you that. But
it's like with Anthony Davis on the Lakers. Anthony Davis is injury prone. You know, so KD.
He is top 5 in injuries throughout his career.
Top 5 in injuries.
I think it's right now. Donovan's question consistency the Hawks have. And for me, I just say, like I just said, we forgot that Julius Randle had probably one of his best seasons in his career just because the Hawks beat them in that series that they shouldn't have won. So it's like, that looks pretty consistent to me.
This is the problem I have with your argument. You're comparing the Knicks to the 76ers right now. The number 1 ranked team to a 4 seed. Granted, 4 is not that much lower than a 1, but you're comparing a defensive juggernaut.
Well, your 1 seed didn't play like a 1 seed that game, so I don't know what to tell you. But
what you mean? We cut it down to 4 points. Come on, come on.
The first half.
No, did you watch the game?
See, the first half, y'all play like
on Twitter and Instagram. I hear people talking about like the Sixers got washed. No, we did. We literally lost by 4 points. Granted, we got washed in the first half, but we turned up the heat in the second.
All I gotta say is obviously the heat wasn't turned up all enough because Trae was in that bitch. Hey,
nope.
Obviously,
the second half he wasn't. Not in the second half. Brodon hit that corner 3, and under the last minute of the fourth quarter. So to say that they got washed or anything like that,
because John Collins was
disrespectful. If he didn't hit that 3, we most likely would have won the game.
No, John Collins was disrespectful. He took that oop and dunked it and was looking at everybody like, yo, that's, hey man, it was kind of disrespectful. But
yeah, and Embiid is gonna remember that too.
Gotta get through Clint Capella. That's all I gotta say.
Gotta get through Clint Capella.
Clint Capella, my lord.
You said Clint Capella?
All right.
You talking about the dude that had 5 points, 11 points, right? 5 from 9.
I mean, he's a role player, Don. I mean, like, what the fuck?
Oh, okay, all right. But he's saying let's get through Clint Capella. I'll get through John Collins before I get to Clint. Come on now. Now you're disrespecting Embiid, and I don't tolerate disrespect. I'm saying overall.
Oh, you Philly niggas!
Overall, the Hawks played a great game.
This I don't tolerate disrespect.
But in the end,
I don't tolerate disrespect.
In the end, the Hawks are not beating the Sixers. That's all it is.
Like I said, and I will say it again, Hawks in 6 is going to be a 6-piece lemon pepper served in Philly. Hawks in 6. Simple.
Okay.
Simple.
He's taking that New York series to his head right now.
All right, New York ain't got nothing to do with this. All right, let's chill.
He said, "Hey, leave my city out of it."
We ain't got nothing to do with this. But I'll say
out of it.
I'll say this though. Contrary to popular belief on the show, I'm actually a Dallas Mavericks fan. That I'm not happy with the way my team performed yesterday. With Luka, KP, it seemed like they have some issues. KP made known as far as like he don't feel like he's a part of the offense. I think he needs to go. If Dallas are gonna make a run,
he does need to go.
Yeah, he missed too many shots for me. I was
watching. He felt the same way when he was with the Knicks, right? He didn't feel like he was the star or something like that. Franchise corner.
The thing with KP when he was with the Knicks is he talking like he was like kind of like exhausted because he was like the first option. Is like he's like it was like too much on him, and everybody like bro at the time he's like 20 years old. Like bro, like, you're 20 years old. Like,
and he was the 4th overall pick, I believe.
Yeah, and Melo was about gone at that point in time. So like, what you mean? Like now you're the franchise player. Like, what is it? So
I just don't think he knows what he wants because now you didn't want to be the number 1 dude. Now you're on the team with Dallas with a rising star in Luka Doncic. Now you don't have enough time. What do you want? Like I don't.
I'm not gonna hold you, but honestly, he'll be a good fit in Atlanta as well. KP.
But even watching the game, like he was taking shots to where in his mind he thought, "Oh, I can make this," and just wasn't making them. I think he shot
5 from 3.
He shot He shot the same shot I would believe from like the left side, mid range, and missed it like 2-3 times. I'm like, you're like what 7-1 or something? Like at least your mid-range game has to be on point. I don't know. I just think his consistency is what's hindering him because I watched the game last night. I didn't see any consistency. I just saw Luka Doncic and Tim Hardaway Jr. trying to push the Mavs to a game 7 or trying to push them. That was game 7, but trying to push them ahead. Because Tim Hardaway Jr. did his thing. Luka did his thing out anyways. That's really about it. But KP,
yeah, I mean, it just wasn't enough.
My issue with KP is that, like you said, dude's like 7'1", but he plays like a 2 guard. He plays like a wing player. You know, like bro, like he's like the smallest big man I think in the league. Because at least like Embiid, like Embiid is a finesse player, but at least like Embiid, like every now and then like, he go post you up. KP don't even try to do that.
Yeah.
So like I don't know, but this is supposed to be like one of our max players, so I think he needs to go. I think Atlanta would be a great spot for him.
You don't want that trash ass nigga.
No, we could do it. We could do a solid trade. Y'all give us John Collins.
So who?
Hell no. See, you smell
what?
Say John Collins for KP.
Collins is leaving anyway.
No, after this series,
after this series, no, he's not leaving.
He's not leaving. After this, no.
He gonna get his bag. Well,
he gonna get the bag regardless of wherever he go. But I just don't think he would leave.
Come to Dallas, John Collins. Ain't got no state taxes over there, so your money.
Hey, nah, stay in Atlanta. We got Magic City. We got the lemon pepper, bro. We straight. The housing market's straight. Texas price is going up. Atlanta, you can still get a nice house for a decent price, bro. We straight. So nah, we're not gonna do that.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see John Collins just.
Goodell, stop tampering. Stop tampering with the NBA, man.
Nigga, I'm not in the league.
Stop tampering. Stop. We hate it, but nah, I think KP just I don't know. He needs to just work on being a big man instead of trying to do this fever dream being a wing player. Because like, how tall is Markkinen? I know the white guy on the Bulls. Luke Markkinen or whatever. I forgot his name.
Laurie Markkinen. I think about 6'10", 6'11".
But the thing is, like him, like he's efficient though, big, but he's like a wing big. Like he can make his shot. He's consistent, and KP is not that. So if that's not working, dog, you're 7'1". Just be in the. He literally just posts 1-2 and just 1-2 move, and that's an easy 2. Like, why are we doing difficult?
I think with KP that nickname, the unicorn, got to his head a little bit. He starts to think that he could play the point and not be in. That's the problem I had with Embiid coming into the league early on. He was taking too many outside shots and not dominating the paint like he is now. And I think that's a game that a lot of big men are falling away from.
Yeah, man. But one thing, like, I'm disappointed that my Mavs is out, but Luka balled out. Basically, all the young guys in the league have been balling out during these playoffs. Devin Booker's been balling out. John Morant, I know it was like a 5-game series they played Utah, but he balled out. Donovan Mitchell's killing it. Trae, Ice Trae again, he's killing it. You know, so I got shout out Trae Young. So I feel like the young dudes that's in the league right now, these young stars, like they're the future. You know, even like KD, he said Jason Taylor one like the best players that he ever guarded. Up there like LeBron, Kobe, dudes like that. So I feel like the future is definitely bright for the NBA. But obviously, obviously before like you could get to the future, you have to like close the door in the present. And that basically brings us to our first official topic for this week's episode. In regards to King James, Mr. LeBron James, his Los Angeles Lakers.
Here we go once again, putting his legacy on the line.
Praying on his downfall.
I mean that was a topic a couple of weeks back. It's probably whose legacy is on the line more, CP3s or LeBron.
Oh yeah, I told you, and it was LeBron, and I was right. It was LeBron.
Nah. LeBron could lose in the first round every year every year going forward. He's a 4-time champion. He won 3 chips with 3 different teams.
Oh, no.
Like he's gonna go down as one of the top 5 greatest players of all time. And no, he's not number 1 or number 2. Or number 3 and number 4 on my list, but that's just me personally. But the question has to be asked: like, is this the end of of an era in the NBA because LeBron, like, we became accustomed to the fact that once he's in the playoffs, he's at least going to go straight to the finals. So it's
I
just the
mean,
end.
is it the end? I think it's not the end, but it's the beginning of the end. In the sense, like you just said, all these young players are more comfortable now in this league than they were a couple years ago when they came in, and they're like, oh, well, I can, like, Devin Booker was under Kobe, showing resemblance of playing like Kobe, putting up Kobe-esque numbers. Not saying he will ever be Kobe, but he's looking a lot like a Kobe-esque player. Luka Doncic being an international player coming here saying, oh, it's pretty easy to score here, and him putting the Dallas Mavericks on his back. Trae Young going to Atlanta. John Morant, like you just said, like, so all these young kids are like, okay, I can hoop with, I can hold my own now. And LeBron James, Father Time is catching up to him. Not saying that he's gonna be old and crippled and he can't ball no more. He can still hoop, but time is catching up, and this is looking like the beginning of the decline of his peak. I think for me, at least for me, not saying that he's gonna be washed next year, but
I've been saying this for the past month now. I'm glad you finally seeing the light, young Padawan. I'm glad you're finally seeing the light because I've been saying that this was the beginning of the end for LeBron James. As one of the elite players in the game, like, don't get it twisted. When he's healthy, he's still top 5.
Yeah, for sure.
So wouldn't that be considered elite? Because you just said he's falling out that elite status.
Yeah, he is because
so which is it?
Because prior, all right, I'll get to it. I'm glad you keep a seat.
All right.
I'm glad you keep a seat. But like, all right, a couple of years back, the whole debate was KD or LeBron, one or two. The LeBron James been one of the top 2 players at the very least in the NBA for the past 12 years, if not more. I'm basically saying like since around 2008, like it was between Kobe and LeBron. Going straight up to now. So basically, like LeBron, he transcended basically 2 generations, 2 decades, and he still knows one of the best players. Now, in my opinion, he's no longer in that 1-2 range. To me, he's not even 3-4. I like I told you guys before, I have 4 guys present in the NBA that I feel are better than LeBron James currently, and I said those guys were KD, Steph Curry, Giannis, and Anthony Davis. And I also said Jokic as well, but I kind of like I could flip flop on that. But LeBron, he's no worse. He's no better than 5. He's no worse than 6 on my list currently. So that just goes to show like his greatness. The fact that like dude, like you was one like you either the best player or the second best player for 12 plus years straight, and now like you're kind of like, and your decline is still not that steep because dude still came close to like a triple double in the elimination game in game 6. So like he's still gonna get you 25. I think next year he might go down to like about 23, 22 points per game. But still, that's pretty good. Especially for somebody that's going to like what, this 18th season? You know what I mean? So
18.
18, 19, something like that.
He said what numbers?
Yeah, like what the fuck? But and consider his draft class, like D Wade is already out the league. Chris Bosh, unfortunately, had to retire due to like medical issues. Carmelo Anthony is a role player at this point in time. How many players from the 2003 draft class are still in the NBA?
Melo and LeBron.
That's but I'm gonna take that question that you just asked and flip it. But how many people from his draft class still putting up the numbers he's putting up? And
that's my point.
Taking
None
his
of them.
team to the playoffs.
That's my point. That's my point. None of them.
So I would consider that elite.
I think what Liddell's trying to say. I think what Liddell's trying to say is like LeBron isn't like LeBron on a bad day is still an elite basketball player, but LeBron to his standard isn't LeBron no more. Because that's basically
I can see that.
I'm not saying that LeBron is nice because again, on a bad night, LeBron's getting at least at minimum gonna give you 25 and at least maybe 9. 25 and 8, some rebounds, some is like on a bad game, he's still gonna give you pretty decent, pretty good number, above average numbers. So it's not to say he's not elite anymore, but he's not the LeBron that took that trash Cavs team to the finals. He's not the LeBron that went to Miami and went to the finals and won those rings. He's not the same LeBron that went back to Cleveland, beat a really amazing one of the, I would say probably the top teams for the whole in history as the Golden State Warriors. I went 73-10 or something. That LeBron 73-9. That LeBron is now no more, or is on the way out. So like LeBron is still LeBron. He's still going to be an elite player, but to his standard, Father Time just caught up to him. It is just like you're not young anymore. You really can't. Basically, he probably needs help now. Because at one point,
hold on. He always had help. Let's not get it twisted. He always had help. He's been the most privileged superstar in the history of the league. No superstar has played with more Hall of Fame level talent and All-Star than LeBron James. Not even Magic Johnson.
I mean, low-key, Liddell doesn't have a point. He did play with Kyrie. He did play with
Kevin Love. He played with D-Wade. He played with Chris Bosh.
Ray Allen.
He played with Shaq, even though Shaq was washed. He played with Antoine Jameson. Antoine Jameson was an all-star. He played with Anthony Davis right now. He had Dwight Howard, who's going in the Hall of Fame. Granted, he's a role player at this point, but still, Dwight fucking Howard. You know?
I mean, the argument could be made since 2000 that, since 2008, the NBA game has changed and it has become more talented. So, I mean, that argument could be made as while we're seeing
the league has
so much.
The league has always had talent, though. It's just that,
but not as gifted as the era that we're in now.
No. The league has always been talented. It's just the fact that there was no.
They just play the game different now.
There were no super teams back then. Like Mike only had Scottie and Dennis Rodman. Scottie is a Hall of Famer. Dennis Rodman, to me, I don't know if he's in the Hall of Fame.
He is in the Hall of Fame.
He's in the Hall of Fame. So that's 2 Hall of Famers that Michael Jordan played with. Steve Kerr, role player, but that's 2 compared to how many LeBron played with. Kyrie, Anthony Davis, that's 2. Then you got Chris Bosh, then you got D-Wade, then you got Antoine Jameson, like he said.
Kevin Love, Dwight Howard, Ray Allen. Some elite players in their prime. Like, I don't know, man. Liddell has a point. I think that's the question we should post on the social media. It would be like, is LeBron the most privileged? That should be the title of the episode. Is LeBron the most privileged player? Privileged all-star, because it seems like he is.
Yeah, I mean, when you're the face of the business, 100%.
And I'll say this about LeBron. First of all, before I get to the scenario, have you guys ever played or do play NBA 2K?
Yeah.
All right. This is where I see it like LeBron. Like LeBron, like beforehand, he had like all the Hall of Fame badges, so to speak. Either Hall of Fame badge or the gold badge. I see like right now, LeBron James, this is how I rate his decline. Instead of him having like Hall of Fame badges and gold badges, he has gold and silver badges now.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
I feel that because it just kind of he just went down a peg. It's not like he's trash, but he just went down a little bit.
Yeah, he went from like a 98 to like a 93.
He's still a 90.
I would say 95.
No, not 95. He can't, you know why he can't be, because he can't take over like he used to.
But you just said when he's healthy, he's elite status, top 5.
But he's not healthy. And at his age, there's no time he'll ever be healthy again.
I mean,
whoa.
Maybe healthy for him has changed. Like healthy for, like I said, on a bad night, LeBron still give you good numbers, but a healthy LeBron now is probably lower than a healthy LeBron like 5 or 6 years ago. Basically, I think that's what Liddell's saying. Like LeBron healthy now isn't what healthy LeBron was a couple years ago. And that's okay because it's called time, people. He's not going to be the best
for everybody.
He's not going to be elite. LeBron is just not going to be elite. It's like death. It's like we all die at some point. There's always an end. LeBron's career is going to have an end, no matter if it's like he has 6 rings or if he just bows out by playing with Bronny his last season and he retires. Everything has an end, so this is just the beginning of that end, and that's okay because everyone's career has to come to an end at some point.
Yeah, and I know you said this is the beginning, and I think this kind of is the end for LeBron in the sense that it's not so much just him, because he's hitched his wagon to Anthony Davis. This is supposed to be Anthony Davis. This was supposed to be Anthony Davis' team going forward, and we all saw when Anthony Davis was healthy during the series. Like they was right back in it with Phoenix. Everybody, like, oh my god, like Phoenix, like they potentially lose this series. As soon as he go down with the groin injury, back to like they getting washed, they getting mopped off the floor by the Suns. So and AD, he has a history with injuries. He's a big that's unfortunately he's fragile. Like this is a dude that grew like 8 inches during his, I think, what was it, senior year in high school.
Yeah,
so
senior high school he grew 8 inches.
So he basically grew up playing like a guard, and then he just gets like this huge growth spurt. I don't think he ever like figured out how to like actually play and adjust to his new body. In a sense,
yeah.
So, and this is why he was adamant in the fact that he did not want to play center. He wanted to play like a power forward because he don't want to get be in the middle.
He can't. Yeah, he can't get in the mud.
You know what I mean? So I just feel like it's the end for LeBron in the sense that, okay, like if he don't get like a Damian Lillard or somebody like that to like join in and make that a big three, if it's just LeBron and AD,
Damian Lillard needs to go to the Lakers.
If it's just LeBron and AD, if that's what it is, then it's over.
For sure. And I feel like if they get Dame, that's it. That's an easy championship for Dame and Davis because you have Dame. Yeah. You have Dame who is right smack middle in his prime, who's good, who can drop 50 and give you those highlights. That with LeBron, Anthony Davis, that can probably beat a Nets team. Not gonna lie to you, that can probably beat the Brooklyn Nets. So,
well, we ain't gonna spend too much time on this time. I feel like personally, like this is the end of the era for King James. No, you said this is the beginning of the end. Donovan, you've been kind of like waving your LeBron pom during this whole segment. It seemed like you.
I wouldn't say waving. I wouldn't say waving.
So where you land on this? Final thoughts. Where you land on this?
I still think he has maybe 4 years left in him. I wouldn't, but I wouldn't say it's the end.
Okay, so he's gonna be an elite player at 40 years old. Okay, got you. Heard you.
I mean, look what he's doing now.
Yeah, he's out the first round now. Thank you.
Okay. You walked into that one. I'm not gonna lie, you kind of walked into that
one. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Where is he now? At home.
I was going to refute, but I'll give you that.
That's what he's doing.
He's like Cancun right now. All right, so let's speak of the Brooklyn Nets in health. The Brooklyn Nets right now, like all throughout the whole season, it's been a matter of health with these guys. KD with his injuries, James Harden battling some hip issues, Kyrie with, I don't want to like make fun of it. I'm just saying that Kyrie just been Kyrie. I'll just put it like that. Kyrie just been Kyrie. But James Harden got hurt during game 1 of the Eastern Conference semifinals match against the Milwaukee Bucks. Seemed like it didn't really make a difference whatsoever because Blake Griffin was killing them.
Yeah.
I forgot other dude's name. Mike James, I think that's his name. The role-playing guard, he played pretty well. But
came off the bench.
Yeah, but for you guys, like, do you guys say that the Nets need their healthy big three of Harden, Durant, and Kyrie to win the chip, or they're just good with just KD and Kyrie if it comes to it?
I think they're good with just KD and Kyrie. But I do think without James Harden, the Bucks will give them a run for their money. If James Harden was playing, it would be no question that the Nets are going to the chip. But with James Harden now going down, it adds more pressure on KD and Kyrie.
Yeah. My whole thing is Nets. I mean, any team with Kevin Durant, it's not even a question that it's going to be a pretty decent game. So, I mean, having Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and, a healthy Joe Harris, who for me, I think is the most like stealth person on the team because he can still probably one of the best 3-point shooters. I think this season he he can still get you a couple buckets if just. So the Nets are still a dangerous team even without James Harden. Like the Nets have an arsenal of players to sustain the East and get out the East, but when it comes to championship time, they're gonna need James Harden. So I think they can survive for right now without him. But when they get to the championship, they're most likely gonna need James Harden because the way the West is looking, they're probably gonna need him.
I would agree with that. Actually, no, I don't agree with that because I think KD and Kyrie, that's enough. I feel like James Harden, that was just the icing on the cake, so to speak. That's like, okay, like you're like it's like all right, that's not fair. Like that's too much. Like instead you win the season probably like 6 or 7 games, now you go basically sweeper, it's gonna be like a gentleman, so you go win in 5. I don't feel like like James Harden kind of like shifted the balance of power that much in Brooklyn's favor because to me they was already a favorite to come out the East.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like they were favorite when KD came back. When he was healthy, they're like, oh yeah, for sure.
Exactly. Yeah, I think the Bucks are just gonna give them a little bit of a push and pull. Yeah.
I mean, I thought Milwaukee's gonna do that whether Harden was there or not. Like I was telling a group chat I was in during that game 1. Like to me, like this game means nothing in the grand scheme of things because I still think Milwaukee gonna push them 6 or 7 games, regardless. Because I believe in Giannis's talents. Chris Middleton, I think he's one of the most slept on stars in the league. Drew Holiday, that's basically like they brought him in for, because he's like one of like the best perimeter defenders in the league, and he's a great third option. You got Brook Lopez, who could play in the post, he could shoot. You got Bobby Portis. Not having Divacenko, I think, kind of hurts them in a sense. But Milwaukee, they just have so much depth. I just feel like they match up pretty well with Brooklyn. Like they could put a man on just about everybody out there in the court. Like you could put Giannis.
But with the Bucks, I mean, they're
but like you could put Giannis on KD. Yeah, now because they lost Divacenko, but Brooklyn's bench ain't that much better.
I mean, isn't Spencer Dinwiddie still on the Nets?
He's hurt. He missed most of the whole year.
Yeah, he was gone the whole year. Yeah,
yeah, he's pretty
Brooklyn used to be the team that had a lot of depth at the bench, and they started to trade their pieces away. I think that kind of hurt them.
Offensive weapons.
Not only that, but LaMarcus Aldridge with his health issues, that kind of fucked up the bench, because he was supposed to be a part of the team. So. But Milwaukee, they just have a man for every member of the big three. Like you could put Giannis on KD, you could put Chris Middleton on Harden, you could put Drew Holiday on Kyrie, or vice versa. So that's why I feel like they had a chance. I still think they have a chance, but as far as I don't think they need a healthy big three to win a chip because for one, the Lakers are out.
No.
Phoenix Suns, do they really have a big three? It's Chris Paul, Devin Booker,
and Booker.
Ayton is cool, but I don't think Ayton is like one of those players like, oh my god, like you gotta take account for Dion.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider.
I don't think he's there yet. Utah, Donovan Mitchell, All-Star, Rudy Gobert, All-Star, Jordan Clarkson, 6th man of the year, and Bogdanovic, he's a pretty good shooter. Dude could get you anywhere from 18 to 20 points. Like Utah, they could shoot the lights out, but I wouldn't say that you need KD, Harden, and Kyrie to beat the Utah Jazz. I don't think you say that they need that to beat the Clippers.
No.
So
I don't think they need James Harden to beat the Jazz. I think the only team they'll probably need James Harden for is if the Lakers are still in there, then for sure. And if the Clippers make it that far, maybe they could use James Harden for extra firepower, but I don't know. I think like I said, I think the Nets. I'm gonna just stay on the hill that the Nets are fine until it comes to championship time, just to put it away faster. Like you don't want to draw it out to Game 7. You just want to, you know what I'm saying. So I think James Harden. I don't think he's still a vital piece, but like you said, they can sustain and they should. James Harden was just the icing on the cake. He was essentially just like, oh, we can just sweep y'all now if we wanted to. That's kind of what James Harden is. So I think the Nets will do just fine. Now, if it was just Kyrie or if it was just KD, then this is
it would be a different story.
For sure. If you lose one of those two guys, you're done.
but at least them two together still playing.
And if Joe Harris is still shooting lights out like he has been,
Blake Griffin is still contributing. He's not Blake Griffin prime, but Blake Griffin last game, he had like 18 and 11 or something along those lines of stats.
Yeah, he balled out, and plus, he was going at the loose balls, like he was doing all the little things, So
all like the Dennis Rodman, all the role player, but influence player would go after loose balls, kind of have that energy. So again, like I said, the Nets still have a pretty decent team. So
Blake Griffin had 14 rebounds. So yeah, they got more than enough.
So yeah, I don't think they should be afraid of Milwaukee right now.
Most definitely, but I'll say, like I said, in regards to the Brooklyn Nets, the expectation before this season, before James Harden got there, was to win a chip. Because basically that's what they brought in KD and Kyrie for, to win a chip. I feel like those expectations are still intact. Granted, and like you said, no, basically it's just a matter of how long it's gonna take. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Instead of winning being a sweep or winning 5, okay, you just have to win in 6 or 7. You still most likely gonna win a chip. They're the best team left. Sorry, Donovan. I know you're a Sixers fan, but Brooklyn Nets, they're the best.
No, look, like I said, I'm not some delusional Sixers fan. Clearly, the Nets are the better team.
Okay, as long as you know. All right, but anyway, before we get to our last topic for this week's edition of the Outta Bounds podcast, I just want to say you made it this far, because right now we're about 47 minutes into it, and that must mean that you really fuck with your boys. If you really fuck with your boys, then do us a favor, like this video, share this video with your network, encourage those within your social circles to join the Tuck family, be a part of our Tuck family, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. That way you're notified anytime we go live or publish a new episode, whether it's the Outta Bounds podcast, whether it's the Gaming Chair podcast, whether it's Tuck Talk, whether it's our Tuck Talk and Next Up interviews that we do here at Triple Culture. So yeah, just make sure you consider that when you check us out going forward, because it really help us out. And also, if you listen to us on audio, we appreciate you guys on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. Keep tuning in, keep locking in. Tell your social circle to follow us at the Tuck Podcast Network for more episodes. All right, so now, with that said, let's get into arguably the biggest topic over the course of this weekend. Was it in relation to the NBA playoffs? It wasn't in relation to anything as far as Major League Baseball or the Stanley Cup playoffs. It was in relation to Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul. Now, I must say that I don't know about you guys. I know we all saw the fight, but I ordered this fight. Because
dumbass.
Dumbass. You get scammed out of your money. Your hard-earned money.
I ordered this fight because, for one, I didn't want to go through the hassle trying to find no illegal screens and then them shutting them shit down.
It took me 2 seconds to find a legal stream. You gotta have a guide.
Someone else paid for it. I didn't pay for it.
All right, so
exactly.
All right, so Donovan, put in the private chat who your guy is. That way I could know going forward. But yeah, I didn't want to deal with no fucking bad quality and shit. Plus, Chad Ocho Cinco, he was on the card, so I'm cool. I'm gonna support my man Ocho. But
dude, talk about Chad Ocho Cinco.
What? To me,
I don't give a fuck about Chad Ocho Cinco.
Dang, bro,
it's Ocho Cinco. Damn, what you? He ain't joined the Eagles or some shit. That's what it is. He turned y'all down.
He said, "Nah, fuck. You're not even gonna be there, bro."
Nah, that was a little aggressive. I apologize, but I don't give a fuck. Who was watching the card for him? Everybody was watching it for him.
I did watch the undercard.
I was, because I wanted to see Ocho's. I want to see how he could do. And to me, I was impressed with his work. Unfortunately, he got dropped, but it is what it is.
Yeah, but he did put up a fight.
At least he didn't hug. I mean, at least Chad. The thing about Chad Johnson, again, he's still a freak athlete, even at his age still.
44.
34?
44. No,
damn.
44 years old.
44. I mean, to be 44 and still hold your own against a real fighter and not hug and not, and actually fight. I mean, I'll give him credit because there's a lot. Everyone critiquing him for getting knocked out probably can't go into an actual ring with an amateur fighter and last.
Right. Yeah.
So Chad Johnson.
Gotta give him his flowers. Yeah.
Okay, but in terms of like the main event, because that's basically what everybody tuned in for, except for me. Did the fight live up to your expectations?
Hell no.
Yes, it did. It's like the thing is, what did we expect was gonna happen? Like, did you really expect Floyd? If you thought Logan Paul was gonna knock him out, you're either delusional or a 12-year-old kid in the suburbs. So I don't know, whichever one, take your pick.
But speaking of delusion, I kind of wish he did, because you got this motherfucker Jake Paul going all over his IG and shit, talking about his brother beat Floyd Mayweather because he lasted.
We gonna get there.
I mean, he did.
No, he
did, but at the same time, like, bro,
it wasn't a fight. It was not a fight.
If you check out the CompuBox stats, like, the dude barely touched Floyd.
He did not. Floyd Mayweather landed 50% of his punches.
Yeah.
Logan Paul landed only 7% of his punches.
Meaning, but in the end, Logan Paul does walk away with the win.
21 times.
Okay, see, that's that Philly mentality right there with these moral victories and shit.
I mean, did he not walk away with the The dude was a viner, and he just fought one of the greatest fighters of all time.
Okay, but
you wouldn't say the same thing with the Meek Mill and Drake beef. Y'all, well, Meek Mill tried, so it means something. Nigga, no, he lost.
No, I believe 100% Drake won that beef.
No, that's not gonna work on him. This dude is an Eminem fan. He don't care about Meek Mill.
Yeah, your opinion to me doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anymore. Eminem. I mean, shout out to Eminem, man, but rapping fast is not cool, bro. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not.
I wouldn't say he's my favorite.
Hold on, talk about. That's a tech. How can you say rapping fast is not cool? Like that shit,
bro.
Atlanta,
I mean, bro. I do understand what it's not as cool as people make it out to be,
bro.
No. Because listen, Eminem made music for suicidal white kids. Andre 3000 is a whole different thing. Like, Eminem was like that's.
But you said rapping fast ain't cool.
But 3 Stacks is different. 3 Stacks is different.
Y'all niggas are different, bro.
No, but I understand what y'all have saying.
No,
like, it's not as cool as people make it out to be. Just because you can rap fast.
Why do you think Logic retired? Why do you think Logic retired?
Because nobody cared about his music.
Or, hear me out, he raps fast and was the only rapper at the time, and still right now that rapped really, really fast, and niggas did not care about that. No one cared. Like, because the thing is, I was a Logic fan. I still play one of his albums. It was really a good album, and he didn't even rap fast on the album. It was really good. It was like it was one of his early albums. But when he was starting to be a novelist of being I'm a rap fast and that's gonna be my shtick, it's like no one cares. Like, does it sound good? If I can't play it in my car, if I can't listen to it in my headphones, why am I playing this? Why do I gotta decipher a song?
If it ain't Lil Jon and the Ying Yang Twins, he ain't fuck. Nah, he's too young for that.
I know what he is,
but Logic did have some hits.
I don't. If it's not Outkast, if it's not Goody Mob, if it's not Gucci, if it ain't Young Thug, if it ain't Lil Baby, we ain't care about that, bro. We ain't care about down here, bro.
All right,
we gotta get off at my exit because that Little Baby is.
All right, we were on subject heavy just now, so let's bring it back.
Yeah,
let's bring it back. If y'all want a music podcast, let us know. Let us know in the chat if y'all want that. Let us know if y'all want that. But getting back to it, like as far as like Floyd and Logan Paul, like I feel like Donovan, like I get it, like it's like he lasts, but at the end of the day, like he wasn't impressive. Like this dude's like what 26 years old. He was gassed. Floyd looked like he could have won 12 rounds if he wanted to.
Floyd could have kept going. That's the thing.
But the thing is, everybody's missing that. Yeah, of course he looks gassed. Of course, Floyd looked like he could still put. I mean, dude was over there smiling. It looked like he was ready for like 8 more.
He was.
But we got to remember who we're talking about here. It's Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, so now it's Floyd Mayweather. Because before the fight, y'all acting like Floyd Mayweather was nobody. Like, oh, he gonna knock him out, bro. Like, that's the thing.
Well, Floyd's not a knockout artist, so there's that.
But the thing is, Logan Paul, he didn't even fight. Floyd would touch him up with the combo, and then he's hugging, and then more hugging, and then we're hugging some more. He looked like me and my girl try to get over an argument, just hugging it out, just hugging it out. Like, there's no fighting here. It wasn't a fight. Like, even after the thing, everyone was like, I was the only person in the room with my friends. Were like, this was not a fight. They were just hugging each other. It was a glorified maybe sparring session. And even in sparring sessions, niggas knock people out anyway. So it's like, it wasn't really even a fight.
I think personally, I was just expecting a knockout, I just wanted a knockout from anybody. That's all. I really didn't care who won.
Beef of joy.
My thing is, like, to me, like, as far as like knowing the fighter that Floyd is, I kind of all right. It is what it is. Like, Floyd, he fought his typical style. But my thing is, bro, like, it's an exhibition. Like, no records online. Like, go for broke. Now, granted, like, I get, like, Logan Paul, like, he had, like, a major height advantage over Floyd. So it's not really so much that you can do. But Floyd's still trying to bring the pressure, you know, like, kept, like, trying to, like, pressure again, like, Logan's face and shit. But it's like, at the end of the day, like, bro, like, go for broke.
No, I mean, I think Logan Paul was bringing the pressure, actually.
No, he was not.
He attempted to.
This man just said Logan Paul was bringing the pressure. This man was running and hugging.
In the sense
I don't hear it.
He was trying to.
Bro,
my man was trying to go.
My man was throwing punches
Mayweather
like
into like actually Dragon Ball Z. I think that's what I mean.
He was throwing punches like Goku and Vegeta in Dragon Ball Z, just not even connected on nothing.
Yeah, I mean, he just was lost out there. What is it? His what, like third time boxing or something like that?
I think so. The first one, I think he lost to KSI. Then I think he had no contest after that, and then this one. So I think this is but I feel like they missed a major opportunity because it should have been Jake Paul versus Floyd Mayweather because Jake Paul is the more charismatic of the two. True. You know, and he's more of.
I mean, he was the one doing the most talking.
Exactly, and him and Floyd, they kind of like the same. I don't know how tall Jake Paul is, but it seems like he's kind of him and Floyd. They kind of have like the same body frame and shit like that. So I feel like that would have made for like a better matchup. Because Logan Paul was damn near heavyweight fighting a fucking super welterweight in Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, I mean, both got paid and just went home. I can't feel.
And then Floyd talk about like, oh, I have fun, nigga. I didn't. Like this,
yo, ass paid for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
Dude, like you would think his fight Manny Pacquiao, Sugar Shane Mosley, or some shit. Like he fought like a typical boxer style. Like, bro, like go for it, you know.
The thing I'm wondering is how many times are these boxing fans or these sports fans going to fall for this circus act? I mean, the same thing happened with McGregor, and I mean, Mike Tyson came back in, but I mean,
I ain't order that shit. I ain't gonna lie.
That's two uncles throwing hands in the back of the cookout. That's all.
Yeah, but it's just like who runs or oversees the boxing franchise or the boxing
the boxing
I can't think of the name of
who
oversees
well you have different athletic commissions. You have the WBC, you have the WBO, the IBF, the WBA. It's more of an independent sport, not like the UFC or like a one.
But like somebody gotta stop in. Like you guys can't ask serious.
The question I want to ask was like, do you like YouTubers and people that are like not even boxers are ruining boxing? Because a lot of people that I know that box like, is stupid. Like, why are we doing this?
100%.
I mean, this was one of our topics for our episodes that we focus on, like the Paul brothers, like are the Paul brothers ruining the sport of boxing? I said yes at the time, but now looking back at it, like because one of the greatest boxers of all time, in my opinion, Floyd Mayweather is the greatest boxer of all time, but he's taking part of the spectacle. So that just let me know, okay, like cool, like if anything, these guys, they're basically putting boxing on the map. Because be for real, most of these boxers, as great as they are, they don't have the personality to like be like pay-per-view draws. You know what I'm saying? Like who's a box office boxing attraction right now? Floyd Mayweather and I guess Anthony Joshua and Canelo Alvarez. Those are like the three main dudes, and most of Anthony Joshua because of London, Canelo because of the whole Mexican thing. So Floyd Mayweather is like the most popular American boxer in the world. He's retired basically. All he does is exhibitions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think the whole event was just a joke. I mean, putting Chad on a fucking card.
Although Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 3, that might be like the next pay-per-view boxing match I'll order because Deontay Wilder, he's a meme-ness. So, and Tyson Fury, he's kind of like he's charismatic. I feel like boxing needs more personalities. If anything, like these YouTubers are giving these boxers the game plan. Like, yo, like if you really want to make money in this sport, or you really want to be a box office track, and you tired of us stealing your pay-per-view slots, you gotta bring that personality. You gotta be either a villain or a hero because people gotta want to care to see you get knocked out or see you knock somebody out.
Yeah, and that's what helped Floyd because everyone didn't like, I guess, his personality. They're like, "Yo, we gotta see Floyd get knocked out," and he never did. So every fight was like, "This may be the one where Floyd gets knocked," because no one really liked him. So it was like, I think boxing is about to do what baseball is doing right now. Where like in baseball, you're seeing a lot more personality where it's like, because even for me, I could have played baseball. I really did enjoy it, but it was so like a gentleman's game and like, oh, you can't do that. And all these rules,
unwritten rules,
all these unwritten rules that is like, no, like I want to hit the ball. I want to look at the pitcher and throw my bat and talk shit and because that's what sports are. It's competitive. There's gonna be emotion. There's gonna be flair. There are people that are gonna have personalities. And baseball and the MLB now, they're allowing players like Tim Anderson and allowing all these other players to show emotion. Huh?
Fernando Tatis Jr.
I forgot his name, but Tatis Jr. having flair and having style. Like these MLB players, they're coming to the arena in outfits now. They get to wear custom cleats. Like they're allowing them to have personality. And I think boxing needs that because like when my dad watched boxing, it was Mike Tyson and all these people that like it was like storylines. Like sports are like movies and TV shows. There has to be a storyline for people to like care. So like Mike Tyson, that was a storyline. Walter Frazier, that was a story. Like you had these boxers that you wanted to watch, and now no one really watches boxing unless it's like you said, it's Canelo Alvarez, or I mean that's the only right now. I only know Canelo Alvarez and Floyd Mayweather. That's really it. Anybody else, I couldn't tell you who. If I saw one of them walking in the streets of Atlanta, I would not be like, that's Wilder. Yeah. I don't know who that dude is. So
Deontay Wilder.
I don't watch it. Like I don't pay attention.
Like, I get it, but that's not so much an indictment on you. That's just an indictment on the sport, which is why like
they don't do shit. I
guess I have to change my tune because a couple weeks back I'm like, all right, like these dudes, these boys, these Paul brothers, they're like bad for the sport, but if anything, like they're putting boxing on the map, unfortunately, because you're gonna pay to see these dudes get knocked out. Like I want to see somebody knock out Jake Paul.
Boxing is just legalized fights, like at school. Like you want to see this kid be like, yo, I want to see him fight him in the bathroom. That's all boxing. Yeah. Like I want to see you do this, but you get paid, and it's legal. That's what, like that's why people watch boxing. Like I would if Logan Paul actually got knocked out, and if it was a real boxing match where Floyd could knock this dude out, I would pay to watch that just to see does he actually get knocked out? Not a hug fest, but does he like? So I do agree because at first when you say the question, a lot of people are like, well, no, they're bringing boxing down, but like if you put it like that, where it's like, well, boxing is just who do you want to see get knocked out? I would pay to actually see an actual regulated fight between one of the Paul brothers and an actual fighter, and they have the opportunity to get knocked out because then I would see that because the possibility of someone at least getting knocked out is fine enough for a lot of people to watch. Now it's just now YouTubers know, oh, this is just a money grab. Oh, all I can do is just act like I can box and set up an exhibition fight, maybe hit somebody, and I get paid. So it's like on one hand, it's like a money grab, but on the other hand, it is bringing like a focus into boxing where it's like we need to have these boxers now have to have personalities. Like you look at the UFC, I forgot what his name is, but it starts with his last name starts with an A, but it's like Adesanya. I don't know.
Israel Adesanya.
That dude, I never watched UFC until he started fighting because of his personality. He does Naruto jutsu. He comes out, he's himself, but he also knocks people out. So obviously, I would watch that.
He actually fights this upcoming Saturday. He actually fights this upcoming Saturday on pay-per-view. I'm not ordering that shit.
My friend loves fighting. He'll probably have it, and I'll probably watch it at his place. But like that got me into UFC, and I wasn't even a big UFC person until like, yo, this dude is like in the anime, and he's just himself, and he's knocking niggas out. Like, yeah, I would want to watch that. Like,
I mean, Thriller is putting together a fight card that Logan Paul is supposed to be sponsoring. It's being held as a YouTubers versus TikTokers. So it's like, yeah, they just see it as a easy way to get money. I mean, in my opinion, I take $20 million just to get knocked out.
No, you're laughing, but you tell me all you gotta do is train for half a year and last maybe 15 minutes. I may get knocked out for 20 mil.
Yeah. Like anybody with like good common sense and like some knowledge of like fighting.
I wouldn't say good common sense. That's pretty stupid. But anyone that's just like maybe like a college kid. Like for me, if I had to train for half a year, potentially get knocked out, or I just survive. They're like, bro, just survive 2-3 rounds. All right, for 20 mil,
just drop to the floor. Yeah, 100%.
I'll be like Michael B. Jordan in Creed, where that behind the scenes he was like get into the hit.
Actually,
back yourself up. Hey man, for 20 mil, I can pay off my student loans. I ain't got to work. I'm straight. So yeah.
And what, I could do 1 or 2 fights a year? Shit.
And we good? Oh, say less.
Yeah.
I mean, like now in hindsight, seeing like what it has become, like I feel like this is dope for boxing. But at the end of the day, like if this shit is gonna stick, these dudes they really have to really, like continue to get better at their craft.
Because if it's gonna just be hugging fest, no one's gonna pay for that no more. The jig is gonna be up. The jig is up because no one knocked out. Because we watched the Jake Paul fight because Nate Robinson got knocked out. Like that was a Twitter thing. Like Nate Robinson get knocked out. We're like, yo, so it's like it has to still be a fight. It can't just be pat, 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 hug, pat, pat, pat. We have money like that. No one's gonna watch that anymore.
Like you can't look like an amateur, basically. Yeah. Like you can't. But there's what it is on that. All right, so let's get into our last segment of this week's episode, the 2-minute drill, and basically we're gonna focus on news out in the NFL. The biggest news in the NFL coming from this weekend. Julio Jones was traded to the Tennessee Titans for a 2nd-round pick. So my question for you fellas is, do you feel like this puts the Tennessee Titans over the top as a Super Bowl contender? Or is this just
I think he makes an impact. I think Julio Jones makes an impact on the Titans just because you have A.J. Brown. You still have Ryan Tannehill who, proved to take the Titans to the playoffs. I think they went to the AFC Championship 1 year.
2 years ago, I did my Ravens stomped them in the wild card round this past season.
Damn, dude, you just everywhere with your teams, huh?
Oh my God. This man can't commit. I do think.
I'm supposed to root for the Giants and the Jets. Fuck out.
Hey!
No, you go from Texas to Baltimore to
Milwaukee,
dude.
Because I'm a Brewers fan.
Yeah,
I'm all over.
You're a Brewers fan. Jesus Christ, you dumb fuck. I think the Titans did good. Now you have a receiving core with above average quarterback that can get them the ball. One of the best running backs in the league, Derrick Henry. I think Tennessee can say they're contenders now. I mean, I would think that they're contenders now. I mean, you have a good receiving core, a pretty decent O line from what I've seen. One of the top running backs in the top running backs in the league. You know, all you had to do is kind of beef up your defense a little bit, and that's a contender. Falcons, on the other hand, stupid. You're basically putting all this.
They're rebuilding, bro. That's what it is.
Huh?
They're rebuilding.
But they're rebuilding, but they're letting go of pieces that they shouldn't be letting. I have this.
Julio wanted to leave.
Okay, well, Julio wanted to leave because he knew that they weren't going to get rid of Matt Ryan. And Matt Ryan, I don't understand what it is with Falcons fans, but they do not want to accept that Matt Ryan is the problem.
I'm a Falcons fan, but I do accept that Matt Ryan is the problem.
But hold on, time out though. How many Super Bowl appearances did the Falcons have before Matt Ryan?
Wow, they go to one Super Bowl. Oh my God!
They only had one, and to my knowledge, correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody that's watching this video or will watch this video, but he's the best quarterback in the franchise's history.
No, the Falcons have been to the Super Bowl before.
I know, but Matt Ryan's their best quarterback ever. No disrespect to Michael Vick, who's my favorite quarterback of all time outside Lamar Jackson, but Matt Ryan, statistically, he's the best quarterback.
But statistics don't win you Super Bowls. I don't understand how. Because
Tell it to the Chiefs.
I mean, well, the Chiefs have a leader in Patrick Mahomes. My thing is, Matt
right? We can't compare the two.
You can't. The gall of you to compare him to Patrick Mahomes.
I'm not. I'm just saying. You said statistics don't win. I'm telling you, like the Chiefs. Mahomes threw for like 5,000 yards and 40 touchdowns, won MVP, and won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but he also had Travis Selleck and Tyreek Hill. So he had people that was going to be able to go and get those yards.
Yeah, my thing is the Falcons have had a problem with defense for a pretty long time. I recognize that because every Falcon says, "Oh my God, the defense!" I know the defense sucks hot ass. We know, but on the offense, my thing is like I would watch Matt Ryan just get sacked, and I feel like Matt Ryan was the traditional quarterback where I'm gonna be in the pocket. I'm a punt fake.
Yeah,
I'm a pass. Because the NFL now has changed, and I say this time and time again. Defensive linemen are not big and fat like they used to be. These defensive linemen are faster. These defensive linemen can get off the line quicker. These defensive linemen are running 40 times that receivers and running backs are running. So you're going to have to move. And it's not even it used to be a black mobile quarterbacks. The thing is now these white quarterbacks are listening to we're going to have to run. Justin Herbert, perfect example. Justin Herbert is going to run. Josh Allen as well. They're realizing that we have to run. You're going to have to move out the pocket. Matt Ryan is still let me stay in the pocket. This is what I do. And it doesn't work. And I don't think Matt Ryan is a leader that everyone thinks he is. I've never seen that. Patrick Mahomes got to where he was because he is a leader on the sidelines to his teammates. And yeah, he has stats, but stats isn't everything. There's more to just Patrick Mahomes than just he can throw a lot. It's the fact that he is literally the battery pack of the Kansas City Chiefs. Without Patrick Mahomes, they're going to be washed. So who else would step up to be a leader? Maybe Travis Kelce? I don't know. I just think he likes to dress nice and walk down the tunnel. So
his drip do be on point, though.
His drip do be on point.
He's the best dressed white dude in the NFL.
Bro, Travis Kelce is the coldest white dude in the league. Bro, he's the coldest white dude in the league. His girlfriend, he's dating a black chick. She was fine. I think he cheated on her, but coldest white dude in the league, in my opinion.
For sure. All right, but speaking of the Chiefs, do you think this move of Julio going to the Titans put them above the Kansas City Chiefs?
No. Because they still Patrick Mahomes.
Okay. All right, does it put them above the Baltimore Ravens?
Yes. I believe so.
Yes.
I disagree. I'm not being a homer, but come on, Ray.
You're biased.
We got the best secondary, man. Marlon Humphrey.
Anyways,
but you stopping AJ Brown and Julio.
Okay, let's say you stop AJ Brown and Julio, right? Still have Derrick Henry.
Ryan Tannehill.
I was just about to say that.
Still have Derrick Henry.
We stopped Derrick Henry in the playoff game. What you mean?
All right, but the thing is, there's only 11 players on the field, and you can only focus on so many people. So if you're double
the Ravens
teaming,
defense are equipped to do it.
But you have to double Julio. So if you're doubling Julio,
you have to double Julio regardless. So that's already two. That's a corner and safety you don't got.
I mean, let's see Julio finish out the season because he's been kind of injury prone.
Oh, yeah. We broke down his argument. Now he has to go to injury. Come on, man.
Yeah, but all right, man. That's just about gonna wrap it up as far as.
Let's get about it here before that Baltimore and I don't even want to.
Oh yeah, I believe it already started.
Yeah. All right, so let's plug ourselves on the way out. All right, so let them know where they can find you on social media. Anything you got going on within Tuck, outside of Tuck, let the people know.
If you're new here, you already know it's just the Noel Austin on everything. I'm getting into fitteds now. As you can see, we gotta get the patch, no black nasty.
I gotta find me a good hat.
Man, yeah, we getting the fitteds. I might just get this girl's name on my fitted. We don't know.
Yeah, love.
Oh, no. Hey, chill on me. I don't know yet.
My man confessed his love.
Puppy love.
Austin on every social media platform. I'm in the works of trying to get some interviews going on the music side for Tuck. So we're gonna try to get some video. We're gonna try to get some editorial interviews going. I'm gonna be at Atlanta Street Market this Saturday. So if you listen and you want to see me in person and debate about Philly being trash, and you live in Atlanta, come to the Atlanta Streetwear Market, and yeah. So really about it.
Okay, the man in the middle, Mr. Donovan Wilkins.
Yeah, you guys can find me on social media. Like I said before, you can follow me or don't. I really don't care. But I'm working on my second book
right now.
Yeah, 100%. I'm working on my second book right now, poetry. Slowly trying to get back into photography. It's something that I've been severely lacking on.
Second book. Send us the first.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, you can find it on my social media. Yeah, 100%.
We need the first.
Yeah, but working on my second book. That's all.
You guys can find me on the Delta Fashionista, but just like Donovan, I don't really care about all that. This is what I do care about. I care that you like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel. That's the best way to help. Not only myself out, but as far as you out as well, because then you'll get more content from us. And if you want, you have any ideas for like what you love to see, then we'll love to gather your feedback and hopefully incorporate that within the show. Well.
We gotta get fan questions. We gotta start doing. I want to hear from the people. I want to hear what their takes. And I want to hear.
Nah, just play.
Wow, bro.
Side note, Liddell's comments and actions do not reflect the True Urban Culture magazine's philosophy and.
I fight for the people every day. This is what I get.
Nah, I'll just play. We love the people. We love the people.
Yeah, of course. See how finicky he is? I've been rooting for since day one. You know what I'm saying?
All right, but that's just about it, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Stay tuned, as always, for more. Also, please, if you enjoyed this show, check out Tuck Talk, check out the Game and Chair podcast, check out our Next Up interview series, our Tuck Talk interview series. Check it all out, and soon to come off the racks. And when you listen to us, we appreciate you guys on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, all that good shit. If you want to listen to us on audio, but you don't know where we're at, you can find us at the Tuck Podcast Network. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, enjoy these playoff games, and we catch you guys next week. Peace.
Stop talking.